Most military museums hold a lot of this information, and most military museums have large archive departments and research departments. People are interested in the past, and particularly in their ancestors and their military activities. And so making this information available and accessible is something that all military museums aspire to do. So my name's Simon Walmsley, and I'm the director here at the museum, and I've been running the museum for 7 years. But prior to that, I was an officer of the RLC, and I've spent 32 years in the Army before I took on the museum. And the museum here that you see here today moved here 2 years ago from Deep Cut, and it existed in Deep Cut in Camberley for over 20 years there. So this is a new museum in the new building and the new retelling of our story. So the RLC formed in 1993 from the Royal Corps of Transport, the Royal Army Ordnance Corps, the Royal Pioneer Corps, the Army Catering Corps, and the Postal and Courier Department of the Royal Engineers. And they came together to form this new logistic corps that we have today. We have quite a wide audience that come to the museum, and of course we're trying to expand that all the time. Traditional audience are serving soldiers themselves or veterans, those that have served in the Army. We also have many families that come here whose parents, grandparents, great-grandparents served in the Royal Logistic Corps itself or one of those forming corps as they research what did Grandad do in the desert in the 8th Army in 1942. But we also have locals that come here, and we're trying to expand the horizons of the visitors that we have here. Some military museums talk about war fighting and battles and engagements. And whilst we do that, we have a much broader, a much wider story, a much more engaging and accessible story. And we talk about, we have the largest number of women in the Army here. We talk about how soldiers are fed, clothed, equipment, how stores were moved around. And those stories are quite engaging and accessible. And we want people who are non-traditional military museum visitors to come here, and there's a big effort here to reach out into the corners of the country and have people come and engage with our story. Most museums only show the tip of the iceberg of what they hold, whether it's in the collection on display, uniforms and weapons, or whether it's in their archive. And particularly this website that we're going live with is about our archive collection. We have a lot of inquiries, a lot of people interested in finding out about what their ancestors did, what particular parts of the Army did, or the history behind a camp, or the history behind a military location or campaign.
My name is Tess Manders, and I'm the archivist here at the Royal Logistic Corps Museum. I've been the archivist for the past almost 3 years, and previously to that I was the assistant archivist for 3.5 years. Within the collection we have archives from photographs to vehicle records to journals to war diaries in the relation of people's actual personal war diaries that they're writing. We've also got photographs and VHS and DVDs and cinefilm, so it's quite an eclectic amount of archives that we keep within our collection, and I would estimate that there's most certainly over 100,000 different documents and photographs within the collection.
And this project is about giving access to that collection without people having to ask us to get it out. They, from the comfort of their own home, could log on, go online and see hitherto hidden away documents, stories, journals and information that they couldn't capture in the past. So it's about access, and it's about making that information accessible to people so they can research from home.
Most museums like us, we get a large amount of research requests on a daily basis, and by having such a collection online we can try and drive some of those requests and those audiences looking for those answers to the website to find the answers more accessibly and more readily available to them. So in that aspect it will free up also staff resources if we can try and manage it through one platform.
It needs to display the information in a more modern, bright, engaging manner. So it's about how it's presented and also how it's accessed and how it's searched. So the idea of the new website is that our information is more easily indexed, accessible, searched, and the information you want is sought. So sometimes It's like trying to find the wood from the trees. It's searching for that little bit of information about that camp in Mesopotamia in X year, and that's the information that you want to seek, and you hopefully don't want to spend hours reading documents to find it.
The reason why we've chosen to host all of these collections online is we currently do host them on a website. However, the current website is quite dated, and so we're looking to host them on a more accessible website and a more modern looking website, and just something that's more intuitive to the audience and user-friendly. The other reason was also to do with the journal, the way the journals are showcased. We went on an idea of what was given and done for the Archives and Records Association, of the way they showcase their journals, which is a project Towns Web Archiving has recently done as well. And so we saw what they could do there, whereby you could see the front of the journal, and then once you pay for your subscription, be able to page through it like you're reading a book, which is just fantastic because it gives the viewer the opportunity to look through the book as if they were reading it. Any visitor could go on there from any age and kind of understand how the website would work. And so that was one of our big drawing cards, and the fact that it looked modern and it was fresh, and it just was professional looking. So that was really a great draw card. The experience working with all the staff of Towns Web and just going through the process of putting together a new website and doing the whole data migration process has been fantastic and very easy and straightforward. It's been a really fun process in many aspects because we've been able to put a lot of our thoughts into it and how we wish to portray our museum collection online, with the help of professionals as well, giving their advice and input. So it's been a very collaborative project and very straightforward process.
One of the aspects is when you open up your screen, PastView looked more intuitive, and that's what we liked about the PastView information compared to some of the competitors when we looked across and selected this particular product to host our archive.
The collection is going to be live at www.rlc-collection.com, and we're going to be keeping updates about the website on our social media, on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. That's for the RLC Museum.